Hey, it's Stoutland with a different kind of top 10 than the ones that I'd been doing before. This one is top 10 old LEGO Pokemon that I want to remake. So these are all LEGO Pokemon that I made a really long time ago. I've been making them since 2011, so some of them are really old and awful, especially that Jellicent there. Though most of these are more recent from within the last 5 years or so. At least I, yeah, 5 or 6 years for most of these, I think. But so these are all really old, and they're ones that are higher priorities that I want to remake them either because I like the designs or because I like the Pokemon and I just want to do better for these. So before getting into them, I have a few honorable mentions to go to. Also, for that, I just want to mention that Zoroark would have been the top of this list, but I already remade Zoroark and I have that coming next week. So honorable mentions go to like a lot of Hoenn Mega Evolutions. I decided to leave Mega Evolutions out of this list altogether since I have so many of them that I want to remake. I made all the Mega Evolutions around the same time when during Gen 6 was when I made all the Mega Evolutions. So I've got a lot of Mega Evolutions that I want to remake. So I decided to leave them out of this since I could probably make a top 10 Mega Evolutions that I want to remake video by itself. So I'll just show a few of the Megas that I want to get to first before remaking them. The Hoenn Starter Megas. So this one is the better of them. Actually, I think I might have already gone and recolored this a bit, but I still needed to go and update the design a bit because the face and I think mostly just the face, I want to see if I could do something better with that. But otherwise, this one is almost updated actually. Sceptile, I need to completely redo the design on this one, probably. And Mega Blaziken, probably also need to completely redo the design on that. So those are the top priority for Mega Evolutions. And I'm not saying, of course, that I'll get to all of these right away. These are just basically the stuff that I have on my work in progress shelf to remind me to go and update them eventually. And also, some of these have been sitting around so long they have some dust on them. Just trying to clean that off a bit before showing them. So number 10 is Whimsicott. Design, I don't think I'm going to change much with the design for this. It just needs to be redrawn completely. Might be able to change a bit of the design by adding more pieces here, adding different pieces there so that it could look more like it has arms. Yeah, I could probably do a stud, a tile, and a stud in place of this piece here that I forget the name of. So number 9 is Jellicent. This is the worst of everything that I'm showing here. So I despise the design of this. I need to just pull it apart completely, but I haven't done that yet because I need to keep this horrible thing around to remind me to make a completely new Jellicent. Honestly, this isn't even something that needs to be remade. This is something that needs to be made completely new again. I don't think I'm going to be able to take anything from this design to use for a new Jellicent. The entire reason this still exists is just to remind me to make a new Jellicent. So Jellicent is one of my favorite Pokemon now, and that's why it's on this list. Because this thing does not do justice to one of my favorite Pokemon. This thing is awful. It really just looks terrible for Jellicent. You can barely even tell it looks. You can barely even tell it is a Jellicent. So yeah, that one, even though it's only 9 on the list, it's probably the one that I actually want to remake the most. I wasn't really sure how I should have done this list, if I should do the ones that I want to make completely new the most, or the designs that I wanted to change the most. I mean, this one just looks so bad that that's why I put it on towards the end, because I'm not even going to change this design. I'm going to just completely make a new one. Number 8 is Ampharos. Also, the reason that some of them are, one of the reasons that it's lower is because with the ones that the design I don't need to change too much, it gives me a starting point that makes it a lot easier to know what to do to remake them. So yeah, Ampharos, I don't think there's much to change with the design here, but it needs a completely new head. Definitely to find a different piece to work for the head. And you can see some dust all over this one. These are all old and forgotten Pokemon, except for the Flygon. Flygon is a bit more recent and doesn't need a lot done to it. So next up, Stoutland. I don't think there's anything to change with the design here. It just needs to be completely redrawn. So again, most of these design, the actual build for it, isn't much to change. They just need to be completely redrawn and recolored. Some of them with more accurate colors. So Flygon here, the build probably doesn't need much work. It just needs better coloring and more detailing on the wings. Since the actual build for this isn't going to be changing, you can find the how to build video on this that I did already back when Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were out. I need to update that tail too. So yeah, this is one of the better ones on this list. It doesn't need a whole lot of work, but that's part of the reason why it's on the list to begin with, because it's already decent enough, but it needs to be better. Next, this one's really, really old. Thundurus. Thundurus Incarnate. I actually made this before Thundurus Therian even existed, I think. I don't remember. So yeah, way too blocky. Needs to have a less blocky design. Probably need to find something better to use for the tail, because this thing doesn't work too well. At least it would work better if I could bend it into the right shape, but it's pretty hard to bend this thing and keep it in the right shape. Emboar. Emboar used to be my favorite starter from Unova. See, this needs to be updated to be more round. It is not nearly round enough. Arcanine. I don't think there's much to do with the design here, but just needs to be redrawn because it's got a really goofy looking face. Face is so dumb looking. Cute, but dumb. Tyranitar. So Mega Tyranitar goes along with this. I forgot to bring it over here to include though. But yeah, Tyranitar and Mega Tyranitar, really want to update those. You know, I forgot about Scizor. I should have included Scizor on the list in place of something else, because I really want to remake Scizor. It's kind of in the same situation as Jellicent, though not as much, where it needs almost entirely new build, I think. Because I don't think there's much to change on the build for Tyranitar, but it needs to be completely recolored and redrawn. And then the one that I want to remake the most is my favorite Universe starter and one of my favorite Pokemon of all time, Serperior. Back when I originally played Gen 5, I didn't care much Serperior at all. But now it's my favorite of them, and one of my favorite Pokemon in general. Which came mostly after using my Monado Purge Serperior in Draft League, and a bit in Gen 7 OU. Pretty simple design on this. I need to replace this with something that I can put the arms on there. The arms that people to this day are still going, oh my gosh, Serperior actually has arms? I knew from the beginning. I realized it had arms from day one. Seriously, I don't get how people still don't notice that it has arms. You can see them moving on its back sprite from black and white. Not really sure what I'm going to do about remaking these. I might just need to keep those as paper if I can't find something else to make them out of. See, these little bits of paper here, and pretty worn out paper by now. Also, in general, for all the stuff that I made a long time ago, I did not have good upkeep of it like I do with the stuff I make now. So that's why everything got dusty and worn out. And even with stuff I make now, about every couple years I still need to update all the coloring on them because the colors do fade depending on what the color is. Like Arcanine here, the colors haven't faded at all, really. But yet Charizard, which was made with the same colored markers, that fades a lot. Or at least it used to until I started using a different type of marker that works better. But yeah, for some reason this Arcanine is actually not faded at all, even though it's really old. Just about as old as some of these others. Like Emboar here, I think I made Emboar around the same time, and yet it has faded orange. So that's weird. And if there's any specific LEGO Pokemon that you want me to make, then see commission info linked on Twitter in the description. So, see you next time!